Kim, it's New Year's Eve. Everyone's doing the highlight reel: wins, lessons, resolutions.
Yeah, Hal, and most of them are really about to miss the real headline.
Oh boy, here we go.
No, but seriously, hon, in 2025, thousands of high-skilled people got cut loose, while millions of small business owners, well, they quietly hit an execution wall.
Hmm.
Hey, listen, and the scary part, they don't know they're each other's solution yet.
Okay, say that again.
All right, so in 2025, it didn't just reshuffle jobs, it reshuffled leverage. And if you don't see it now, you're going to wake up in April like, hey, what? How did everyone else get there first?
So, what are we calling this?
The Great Redistribution, Hal. Not of money, not of tech, but of talent and power. And the window to move is the first quarter of 2026. Maybe have about 90 days, maybe even a little less.
Come on. 90 days sounds like marketing talk, Kim. I mean, come on. Layoffs happen every year.
Exactly, Hal, I know, but that is why you should be skeptical, because this time, well, I mean, you've seen it. It is a little bit different. But to all my small business big AI insiders, by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly whether you're early or late. Hello, and welcome back to Small Business Big AI. I'm Kim.
And I'm Hal.
And this is the podcast where small business owners stop playing defense and start building a technology-enabled superpower. Now, today's episode is really about two people. Now, first, we have the high performer who gets blindsided this year and is wondering what just happened to this market. And then secondly, we have the business owner who knows they need execution help, but can't find it without lighting money on fire.
And if you think you're neither one of these people, give us 10 minutes. You probably fall into one of these categories.
Right, Hal, because this isn't New Year, New You. This is New Year, New Game.
And that's why today's episode is called The Great Redistribution: What 2025 took away and what 2026 is giving you.
So, if you've been listening over the past few weeks, then really you've met Becky and Mike. And I know some of you have been DMing and calling us about Becky and Mike. So, there are quite a few of you been listening out there. But here's the short version. So, Becky, 12 years at a Big Four, senior manager, the person everyone called when the model had to be right. Then March 2025, gone, fired. Now she's polishing her LinkedIn profile like it's 2019, hoping for another corporate offer and hoping the market still plays by the old rules.
Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Those corporate jobs aren't coming back, not at the same rate.
And that's right. And then on the other hand, we have Mike, Hal. And Mike runs a real company. I mean, real payroll, real complexity, and he's managed to survive 2025's economic pressure. And he knows he needs fractional execution help. But here's the kicker. The quotes that he's been getting are either insane or really useless. So he stops looking. Not because he doesn't need support, but because the market won't meet him where he is.
So Becky has skills, Mike has problems. Why aren't they colliding
Because both of them are searching in the wrong aisle. So, what happened in 2025 and now heading into this new year is really going to force them not only into the same aisle, but right in the middle of the same room.
Which is where this gets interesting.
Very interesting. So, in this episode, we're breaking down what actually shifted in 2025 and why the first quarter of 2026 is a narrow but powerful window, and how taking small steps that lead to big changes right now can completely alter your position by summer.
Let's get into it.
So before we talk about opportunity, we have to kind of name the break, the break in the system. Now, where the pain is. Because what happened in 2025 wasn't a dip. It wasn't even a correction. And it definitely wasn't business as usual.
This is where people get confused. They lump it into every other cycle.
Exactly how. They say like layoffs happen or markets tighten and things will bounce back. And really, yes, those things are true, but they're not the whole truth. I mean, what broke in 2025 was the handshake between skill and value.
Say that again, because that's important.
Right. I mean, for years, we had a clean exchange. You bought credentials, experience, execution, and the market rewarded you with stability and title and pay. But then in 2025, that contract quietly expired.
Not because people want good.
But because the system no longer needed them in the same way. All right, so here's the uncomfortable truth. I mean, a lot of Becky's old job wasn't eliminated because she wasn't valuable. It was eliminated because the structure that she worked inside couldn't justify the cost anymore.
And that's where people get stuck emotionally. They think, if I just tweak my resume, if I just wait it out.
But the ladder that they're trying to climb, well, it's already leaning against the wrong wall. Okay, now flip to Mike's side. Now, Mike isn't struggling because he's cheap, because he's not. He's struggling because the support market was designed for companies 10 times his size.
Big retainers, long contracts, layers of fluff.
Exactly how. And Mike doesn't need a consultant deck. He needs execution. He needs someone who can walk in, understand the mess, and actually move things forward without blowing up his cash flow.
So, on one side, you've got a high caliber talent suddenly adrift. On the other, you've got operators drowning in complexity.
Exactly. And here's the part that most people miss. Those two groups have always existed. But what changed in 2025 is that middle layer collapsed. The buffers disappeared, the prestige wrappers vanished, and the safety nets thinned out. And then suddenly, skill had to stand on its own. I mean, without title, without brand logos, really without permission.
Which is terrifying.
And freeing. I mean, it depends on whether you see it or not, Hal. So this is why we keep saying this is not a tech story. AI didn't cause this. AI just exposed it.
It removed the illusion.
Yes, and once that illusion is gone, the only thing that matters is whether you can translate ability into outcome. That's the real redistribution. Not jobs, not tools, but who controls execution. And in 2026, that control is shifting closer to the operator.
Which is where the opportunity shows up.
Right, but only for the people who are willing to let go of how things used to work. Because if you're still waiting for the old system to reassemble itself.
You're already late.
Exactly. So now that we've named what broke, the next question is obvious. Why is the first quarter of 2026 different from every other fresh start season?
And why is this window so narrow?
Well, that's coming up next. Quick reminder, we're hosting a live event where we're breaking down the full BMS licensing model. The exact framework that Becky's using to build her fractional practice.
And if you're a displaced Big Four professional or a small business owner looking for implementation help, this event is built for you.
So DM us on LinkedIn. The link is in the show notes. All right, Hal. So now every time we say window of opportunity, someone hears motivation poster.
Or a webinar countdown clock.
Exactly. So let's be precise here. The window isn't emotional. It's not a motivation poster. It's structural. Right now, this very moment, 3 things are happening at the same time. And these 3 paths almost never overlap like this.
All right, let's walk it.
All right, so the first path, there is a surplus of high caliber talent that has not yet reattached to new identities. Now, most displaced professionals are still in job search mode, not business building mode. You can see it on LinkedIn. They're open, they're experimenting. They haven't locked into long-term decisions yet.
Which matters, because once they do,
they disappear for another cycle.
So it's first mover advantage situation.
Right. And then secondly, we have small businesses are finally admitting that they cannot duct tape their way through another year. They need execution support now.
That's real.
So if we look back, 2023 was survival. 2024 was endurance. And 2025 was exhaustion. So now in 2026, this is Mike, and he's saying, I don't need more ideas. I need momentum.
And the third?
Well, the third path is leverage, Hal. Now, AI didn't just get better. It actually got boring.
Which is the highest compliment.
Exactly. So when technology stops being the shiny new toy, it starts becoming infrastructure. And that means that one capable operator can now do the work that used to require a small team.
So the math changed.
Completely changed. So AI made it possible for one person to do what used to take maybe like a team of 12 to do. So execution scaled down, overhead collapsed, and suddenly fractional help actually works. But here's the catch. Windows don't close because opportunity disappears. They close because patterns lock in.
Explain that.
Okay, so let me paint you a picture. So let's say by late Q2, 3 things happen. So top tier talent rebrands or recommits. And then operators choose good enough solutions. And as early movers quietly claim the best matches, by the time everyone else feels confident, then the market has already sorted itself out.
That's when people say, Must be nice.
Yeah. And you hear it all the time. Well, must be nice. But when in reality, it was just because someone decided to move earlier. They decided to take action. Now, this is why we keep coming back to the same idea. This isn't about being aggressive. It's about being on time.
So if someone's listening to this on January 1st,
Then they're early. But if they're listening in March, they're still in, but like I said, the room is starting to fill up. And if they're listening in June of 2026, they're negotiating from the back door, actually.
no drama, just physics.
Exactly. And this is where the idea of a technology-enabled superpower stops being theoretical. Because the people who win this window of opportunity, who get into the room before it's full, aren't the loudest. They're the ones who can move from insight to execution faster than everyone else.
So the question becomes,
What does moving now actually look like? Like not being reckless, not blowing up your model, but taking small steps that lead to big changes while the leverage is still tilted in your favor.
which brings us to the final segment.
Which is where we're going to talk about what to actually do on both sides of the market.
If you're listening and thinking, wait, could I actually do this? Stay with me, because what I'm about to walk you through is exactly what happened when Becky and Mike find each other. And it's not theory, it's already happening.
So now let's bring Becky and Mike back into the room, because the opportunity in front of them isn't about changing who they are. It's about changing how they meet.
This is where people overcomplicate it. They think the move is bigger than it is.
Exactly, because Becky, she doesn't need to start something from scratch. She doesn't need a brand overhaul, and she doesn't need a 10-slide pitch deck. She needs to re-anchor her value around outcomes and not titles.
Which is uncomfortable because titles used to do the talking.
Right. And now the question is, what can you take responsibility for and deliver on it? And on Mike's side, well, Mike doesn't need another consultant. He doesn't need a unicorn hire. He doesn't need to be sold. He needs someone with experience who can walk in and say, here's the mess, here's the leverage point, here's what will move in the first 30 days.
Which is a very different conversation.
Completely different, Hal. This is where the market is quietly shifting from advice to ownership. The new match looks like this. Its high caliber talent stops asking, where do I fit? And it starts asking, what problem can I own? And operators, small business owners, they stop asking, who has the best resume? And they start asking, who can actually move this forward?
And when those two questions meet,
Well, then momentum happens. Now, this is the part we want to be very, very clear about. This isn't freelancing. This isn't gig work. This isn't fractional as a euphemism for unstable. This is precision execution.
defined scope, clear outcomes, real accountability.
Exactly. And it's how small businesses build leverage without bloating overhead. And it's how displaced talent regains control without waiting for permission. That's the distribution, not chaos, but alignment.
And the people who see it early get to set the terms.
And the rest inherit the terms. So, how let's land this with reality. So, if you're listening as a Becky, here's the hard truth: the market isn't rejecting you, it's asking you to show up differently.
And if you're listening as a Mike,
The help you need already exists, but you're not going to find it by shopping the old categories.
this is why we keep saying 2026 belongs to people who build a technology-enabled superpower.
That's right. And not by stacking tools, but by tightening responsibility.
So what's the move?
Well, how it's not a leap, a step, just one.
Those small moves that lead to big changes.
Always.
Quick reminder, if this conversation is hitting close to home and you want details about our LinkedIn live event, just DM us on LinkedIn. The link is waiting for you in the show notes.
So here's what I want you to sit with as you head into 2026. Now, if you got displaced this year, or maybe you've been thinking about leaving corporate, or maybe you're just tired of building someone else's equity, well, then you have a choice. You can spend January updating your resume and hoping that the next W-2 offer comes through. Or you can spend January building the infrastructure for a business model that doesn't answer to anyone's quarterly earning call. Now, if you're a small business owner, if you've been priced out of the expertise that you actually need, or you're drowning in manual processes, or maybe you're just tired of getting sold bloated solutions, then you also have a choice. Now, you can keep Googling, affordable consultant and getting garbage. Or you can start looking for your Beckies, the people with Big Four skills who aren't charging Big Four rates because they figured out how to deliver with technology-enabled superpowers. Now, Hal and I are spending January showing you exactly how this works. So we've got 3 more episodes coming up that'll kind of walk you through the playbook, the positioning, and the client acquisition strategy. I mean, all of it. And then at the end of January, we're hosting a LinkedIn live event where we're going to be pulling back the curtain on the full licensing model that we built with our partner, Rob Belfield. It's the BMS program. Now, this system, it turns this that we've been talking about from theory into revenue. But that's later. So right now, all I'm asking you to do is this. I want you to sit with the idea that 2025 didn't just take something from you. It handed you an opening, a gap in the market that's only visible to people who are paying attention. The question is, are you going to walk the path and take advantage of the opportunity that 2026 is giving you?
That's the game.
And we'll be right here helping you play it smarter. Now that's it for today's episode of Small Business Big AI. Thanks so much for tuning in.
And hey, if you're listening to this on New Year's Eve, do us a favor. Share this episode with one person who needs to hear it. Let's start 2026 with a movement, not a resolution.
And until next time, keep embracing change, keep innovating, and remember, the future of your business is bigger than you think. And the steps you take today will shape the legacy you build tomorrow. Now, I'm Kim.
And I'm Hal.
And this has been Small Business Big AI.
Happy New Year!
We'll see you in 2026.